still there? Okay,
No.
it is what it is.
Okay.
I'm going to hit this button.
Yep.
Hey, everybody, I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
Welcome to episode 116 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel Travel and Dirt. Come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so talking with Joey and I about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, or just playing bikes.
Yep.
Joining us tonight, a special guest, Laurie Lemieux from Proteus Bicycles, and now also the fresh, brand spanking new owners of Patuxent Adventure Center. Welcome, Laurie. Glad to have you here tonight.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Excuse us for just a few minutes while we do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to come back, and we got a big conversation we're going to have with you. Joey, anything going on in the world of Patreon or PayPal?
He was at Eddie. Did Eddie say he moved into Wes's basement today? What was that?
No, I don't know what
Okay,
that was.
I know that. Eddie joined the Patreon family, so thanks, Eddie.
Yep, thank you, Eddie.
I
think that's it.
T-shirt. Yeah, so someone asked us about more cutaway jerseys.
Yeah. Was
Bill
actually
from Cutaway asked me just COVID and everything lately.
Yeah. Do we want to do another jersey?
Possibly.
Do we want to do the same jersey, or do we want to do something different? I think the
I don't
same
know.
jersey.
Same jersey looks good.
I wouldn't want. So we're just talking about doing a fresh order
Yep.
on the same jersey.
Yeah.
Let's get in touch with Phil. You want me to handle that?
I got it.
You got it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Take care
kind
of
of
that.
it. Yep.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you very much for coming on to the family of support here at Mid-Atlantic
Yeah.
Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Very much appreciate you, and very much appreciate all of you fine listeners out there that send us support every month. What are you drinking tonight, Joey?
I made an old-fashioned.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'm still on the bubbly.
Ugh.
You had bubbly earlier.
Yeah, it was refreshing after work.
Yeah. Okay.
I also don't have beer
Yeah.
in my house.
You're not
weird.
drinking beer anymore. Well, you said you had one. Did you have any in North Carolina when you were down in North Carolina?
Yeah, I had a really good peanut butter stout.
That's right. You sent a picture of that.
Um,
Laurie, I saw you lift something to your
yeah.
lips. What are you drinking over there?
I am drinking Flying Dog Thunder Peel.
Oh, I love
It's a hazy IPA.
Yeah, it's got that little orange kind of thing going on. Yes.
Good
yes.
stuff.
I give you a little backstory. I was never a big IPA fan.
We had to train them.
And then Wes and Joey were like, try this. And then Wes did a very good job of introducing me to IPAs
Yeah.
by, giving me the gradations. And it was like, start here and then step up here. And then it was, I don't know what it was. It was probably 6 or 8 months ago. I just all of a sudden was like, I kind of got that little craving for something that doesn't taste good. So
I only stopped because I thought I was going to go hardcore in the Dirty Kitten
yeah.
winter training thing. I was like, I don't need all the stouts and porters. And
Yeah, I didn't do any of that this year. That Dirty Kitten training, I'm going to tell you, it really kicked my butt into high gear for early spring.
yeah, a lot of people's.
Although honestly, now that March has hit and it's elevation, I'm not playing the elevation game on Zwift because we don't have elevation here, and I'm not staying inside when it's 65 degrees outside. I can't do it. I got to get back outside.
Yeah.
So I'm still with the bubbly. Joey, you want to do a real quick catch up of what's going on in your world?
I'm going to save it. I would think
Save it all?
Laurie's going to sum all that up.
Okay. I got nothing.
I rode outside yesterday and ran into you.
That was fun.
I snuck in an hour because my in-laws were getting here later.
That was fun.
And I fixed my bathroom and house and power wash
I know
before.
we texted back and forth about trying to hook up, but then it was just more fun to
Yeah.
run into each other. That was actually kind
Yeah.
of more.
Paul
more
and
pleasant.
Jeff unloaded a bunch of bikes with us yesterday. And, I'll save everything.
So, Joey, I have got a new game really quickly, and Laurie,
Yep.
I'm sorry we're going to throw this in here on you. I've got a new game, and hopefully we have enough people in the live stream that they'll want to join in. I want to see if y'all can recognize the celebrity voice. Hey, Larry's here. He must be he's on his satellite, so he's probably listening to the program from last week. Isn't that the way it goes out there in West Virginia?
Yeah.
So we got Ted. Sean says he's here. Ted and Ted. Larry. I think there's a few other people here. I know there's 12 people in the live stream.
Yep.
Pete's here. So I'm going to play this audio clip of a celebrity saying a bike thing. And then I want everybody to start throwing out some guesses. And I'll play it a couple of times. So I'll play it and then we'll start getting some guesses. Here we go.
Got the shifty thing, the shifty thing.
The shifty thing,
It's got a cog set, it's got the shifty thing, the shifty thing.
the shifty thing,
It's got a cog.
Okay, anybody in the live
You went
stream
really
jumping
long on
in?
that one.
Huh?
You played that really long.
I know. Well, I played it. I got it set on a loop. Right
Ted,
away.
yeah.
Right away. Because Ted probably actually watched the video from earlier.
Yeah, it was a good video.
It was a good video. Yes, that was Father Dave Pryor himself, jumping in. And I'm going to put a link to the video. Dave works up at Lehigh University, as everybody knows. Also the founder and the man behind the scenes, along with Mike, on Unpaved, the Susquehanna River Valley.
And Monkey Knife Fight.
Monkey Knife Fight, and probably all sorts of good stuff. And Dave released that video at Lehigh to talk to the kids about how, get back on the bike for the spring. And he was going through how to change wheels and tires and tubes. And it's actually like a nice 10-minute long video or so. Mm-hmm. So I will actually put a link to that in the show notes. But I needed to give Dave just a little bit of a dig in the side for Shifty Thing. Because he was trying to change the rear tire.
Outside of a bike shop, that's probably the best way to describe it. I think probably not the best if I was working in a bike shop to describe it, but
Well, I think it was. I thought it was funny.
It was funny, yeah.
Because he actually in the on his Facebook earlier when he posted it, he was like I couldn't figure out how I was fighting with the quick release, and so I posted a comment. I was like, I came for the quick release battle, and I ended up with the Shifty Thing. And it's very difficult. You got to be careful when you say Shifty Thing that you don't slip up and say something else. So, thank you, David. I sent that to Dave, and he was okay with me playing that. So, thanks for playing along, Dave, and thank you, and good job, Ted, for jumping in real quick on that. I got voicemails.
Yep.
We promised this, and Wes got all over me last week because I needed to play voicemails. So really quickly, I'm going to play some voicemails, and I don't think anything was too deep. Bear with me.
Who are they?
Hey, Joey and Brian. This is Ron Welsh from Jacksonville, North Carolina. I just wanted to call this number to make sure that Wes stays on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to tonight's episode. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Ron. That was sent a couple of weeks ago, and I've been very, very remiss in not playing that. So I
was just down there too.
And I got one more. This came in just this week, I think. Stand by.
We can discuss about your case and take necessary action on this matter.
I think Wes did something.
If we don't hear from you, then we will be forced to take legal action against you.
I think now that Wes is back, we're getting some really weird phone calls. So Wes did something that's going to require legal action. So let's get on him about that. Joey, let's do Strava Club.
Strava Club, and then we'll roll into all right, so random three. First one was Ian Banks from Parvella Cycles with from Bowie, Maryland at 179.9. Rich Brundeau, Rich from Unpaved.
Hey, Rich.
From State College, PA at 132.6. And then Jesse Brennan from Milford Charter Township, Michigan, Michigonian, whatever, 125.7.
Michiganite.
Yeah, we don't like them.
We do
125.4 was the threshold for the top 100 this week, and we went up to 715 Strava members. So strava.com/clubs/gravel travel dirt.
So jump on board, everybody. Good job, Ian. Good job, Rich. Good job, Jesse. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Let's dive into this thing. Do you want to do the introductions? Why don't you do the introductions?
You're good at it.
Okay. Joining us now, as we talked about earlier, Laurie Lemieux from Proteus and now at Patuxent Adventure Center in Solomons is joining us. They are her and her husband, Jeff, right?
Yep.
So welcome, Laurie. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I don't know if I should say welcome to the Solomons Island family, or if I don't know which way that should go, but I have a feeling it's going to be more like hey, let's all just welcome each other to this new family place. I think that's the right way to approach it.
One big happy bike family.
Yeah. So I was 4.5 years in College Park many moons ago, and I know Proteus has been around for a very, very long time. And I actually worked at a bike shop up in College Park during my college days. It was
Which one?
Over there by the REI Caravan. Did you know Don Giese? Caravan. He was it was a bike shop, and it was the late 80s. So it's a while ago.
I wasn't doing as much biking back then. So I moved to College Park in 84.
Okay, that would have been right at the window of time. I was there from 85 to 89. And then towards the end of that, Don moved the shop over to Beltsville. So it was, that little intersection down there where the old REI used to be on Rhode Island Avenue.
That's where my shop is now.
Yeah, he was right down there where where the pawn shop was.
Not that far. We're where REI used to be. We're in that shopping center.
Okay, well then you're like, is it kitty corner or catty corner? Across.
So you were the pawn shop. It's a pawn shop on Edgewood.
Yes.
I'm not sure. It's changed a bit.
Yeah.
And we're in the Hollywood Shopping Center.
Okay.
Which is not new, but it's a lot newer than our old building, which was either going to the sinkhole below was either going to swallow us or the roof was going to cave in. We weren't sure which was going to happen first, so we moved.
So you're in the old REI space now.
No, not quite. We are on the other side where Mom's Organic Market was. Mom's moved into REI. We moved into Mom's space.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still a big space. I've been in there. Yeah, it's absolutely huge, and that's a great location. Great location.
It's fantastic. And it's so good.
How long have you been there? I'm going to show my dum-dum. So
we moved to the College Park it's been in College Park all along. We moved to the Hollywood shopping center location in December of 2018.
Okay.
And Proteus started in 1972. And I've tried to find records of if it's the oldest bike shop that's been operating in Maryland. I'm not sure, but at least in College Park, because College Park Bicycles didn't open until the 80s.
Okay, yeah. And I know they bounced
way
around
ahead of
all
that.
over the place, and they've changed locations. And yeah. So cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice little backstory there, Joey. And you probably had told me that the shop had moved up the one on Route 1.
I did, like 3 times. It's okay. We're doing this podcast so people can be. It's an easy way we can, people can learn a little bit. So,
all right.
Sure.
So let's back up a little bit, Laurie. Give us a little bit of your background and how you came into the world of cycling and bikes.
Well, like most of us, I've been riding since I was a kid, third of 4 kids, so I had to compete. I don't remember learning to ride a bike. I'm sure my dad just pushed me down a hill and said pedal, and that was it. So I started riding more when my kids were little. And well, actually, when we moved to College Park, we actually bought bikes from College Park Bicycles when my husband was in grad school in 84. And but oh gosh, now I can't think of the name of the bikes. Steel bikes, 80s bikes, down tube shifters. They were not great. I had no idea what size I was supposed to ride. Anyway, we when Paul was born, who now manages our shop in College Park, we put a seat on the back of my road bike, and I rode around everywhere with him, all around. We live in Greenbelt and have been there since about 87. So I rode around with him everywhere, and that sort of got me on the bike. And then I kind of didn't ride a lot for a while. I wanted a new bike one year for, I don't know, my birthday, Mother's Day, something. And my husband, Jeff, who's, don't tell him, but he's a bit of a cheapskate, and he bought me a Huffy. So it's because he bought me a Huffy that I own Proteus Bicycles. Because I could not get it to shift. I couldn't get up a hill. I was like throwing the thing in a ditch, and I was like, why? Why did you do this to me? So I went to Proteus with my friend Mona Kessel, who was a racer and avid bike rider, and her daughter and my daughter were best friends in middle school. And they took me to Proteus to meet the former owner, Jill DeMorrow. This was back in I want to say 2006. And I bought an Orbea road bike.
Okay.
And I thought my head was going to explode for, how expensive it was, which in today's standards, not that much. But I bought the Orbea, and I started riding. I mean, I fell the first time because I clipped in on borrowed pedals and forgot that I had to unclip, because like all of us. And I started riding, and I started just picking up my riding and riding more and more, and then commuting to work. And it was just the difference of a real bike, and became like the number one Proteus customer. Bought a bike for my husband, bought another bike for myself so I could commute, because the road bike was just not doing it for me. So I bought a cyclocross bike, now known as an adventure gravel bike, and commuted to work, and started riding, more than 100 miles a week, and just kind of really got into it and didn't see the point in driving so much. And then Jill was going to sell the shop in about in 2012. She'd been rumoring it for years and was going to sell the shop for personal reasons. And I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'd been practicing as an NP for 20 something years and as a nurse since I graduated from college in 1984, and was teaching nursing at Catholic University. And I decided I was tired of all of that, and midlife crisis and all, I bought a bike shop. That's the short version.
So tell me, you had that Orbea. Is that Orbea still in the fold?
So I had it in the fold up until about 2 years ago, and I decided, I've got all these bikes and they're just around and I only have so much space. So I sold it to somebody, and she was going to do a triathlon on it, and I guess she did. Anyway, she bought the bike from me and was really happy with it, and then it got stolen.
Oh.
And I'd had it since 2006, and it just hurt my heart because I still have the original paperwork from it. I've got the serial number and everything. So yeah, I don't think I even threw the paperwork away. I think I still have it because that heart was near and dear. It got me into bicycling.
I still have my bikes from college. I have a real hard time. You get emotional.
Issues.
I know.
Yeah.
Not like Joey. Joey buys a bike and he's like rides it, and then
Not anymore because of COVID.
Yeah, this year you can't get them. I develop a really strong emotional bond and attachment to my bikes. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I've sold one bike. I sold that Trek, that Cobia that I had, which I never really particularly cared for. So maybe that's what made it okay to do that. But
yeah.
So what are you riding today?
Well, today I rode an Athos Pro.
Nice.
So the Athos Pro, last year I started taking like a demo bike for the year and leading rides on it. And so I rode a Roubaix Expert last year, and it was awesome. I loved it. And so that's gone to another person this year. I sold that. The shop sold it. And when the Athos came out, I thought, well, I should get something new. So I got the Athos, and honestly, I haven't ridden it that much because between the ice and the snow, we actually had winter this year, so I didn't get to ride a whole lot. And I've been a little busy with some things like expanding the empire, right? So I rode it today, and every time I get on that bike, it's magic. That is the best bike I've ever ridden. So, it's fantastic. So yeah, I rode the Athos today.
What brands does Proteus carry, and so what should we start to be seeing now at PAC?
So good question. We carry Specialized, which is how we learned about PAC, was through a Specialized rep. So we carry Specialized, and so most of like our road and mountain bikes right now are Specialized. Actually, we don't have any mountain bikes except rock hoppers again, because every time we get one, they're gone. And we also carry Jamis and Kona.
Okay.
So, thank goodness for Specialized, because they're a big enough company that we can still get bikes. But Kona, I think we have 3 Konas in the store and maybe 4 Jamises and some kids' bikes from Jamis, but nobody else has bikes.
Yeah. I gave you a couple of comments that you'll find interesting here, because I know you can't see them, Laurie, from the live stream. Ted said your husband bought you a Huffy and you're still married. That's love, kids.
Right.
That's
almost
clever.
I think 38 years now, so
and,
coming up on that.
Pete, also a collector of fine bikes, says
He goes through bikes like
worse than you. He says, if I hear about the Athos a few more times, I'm gonna have to get one. And Joey let him know that he was now.
We got a 56 inbound
allowed.
at some point in time.
We got a couple of them in stock. Just let me know what size. It's pretty special.
Got a couple of comments. Hey, Bill, I've been playing with the audio. It looked like it was a little bit hot, so let me know. Somebody chime in on the live stream if the audio is problematic. So I'm trying to work on that and get some things dialed in here so everybody can hear everybody a little bit better. You do commute and such too.
Yeah, I commute. I have a Como.
Yeah.
I have an e-bike that I commute on, and I load that thing up. It weighs about 60 pounds. I can barely get it out of the house by the time I've got it all loaded up with computers and lunch and maybe beer in the pizza rack and stuff. I never put pizza in the pizza rack. It's always beer. So it gets pretty loaded down, but that's my little commuter vehicle. I barely ever drive my car, so it gets me around.
I'll say we never really talked about, you have like your network up there with the bike trails and stuff. I love kind of living in the middle of nowhere, but the infrastructure to use a commuter bike is horrible down here, and I wish that would change.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a fantastic network. Now, where I live in Greenbelt, I have to go on a couple of roads to get to all the trail system. But once you get to, like, one of the great things about where our shop is now is we're right off of the College Park Trolley Trail, and we're like a half a mile from the Greenbelt Metro. So you can walk to the shop if you, and there's Capital Bike Share, not Bike Share, but there's another bike share system that's nearby that's run by the city of College Park. So you can grab a bike share and ride over to the store. No problem if you don't want to walk, or a lot of people will take their bikes on the Metro, which you can do all the time now if you want to get on the Metro and ride over to the shop for service or coffee or whatever you want to get there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The trail network, Jeff and I have ridden out to Purcellville from our house before.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
That's a bit.
Yeah, and most of it on trail.
Wow. See, we don't have that down here.
Drive all the way out to Purcellville.
Yeah, we don't have that down here. I mean, we have a few trails that don't really go anywhere.
I mean, I can ride to the brewery and the grocery store, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's not. But we also have roads that we have beautiful roads.
Yeah. Like Ben Harper will come down and ride with me, and it's totally different for him. He says, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword.
I think down here when you get onto some of the back roads,
it's beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous. But I think enough people are riding them now that I think we've reached a kind of a pleasant place.
Yeah,
I don't have problems with cars. Most of the roads that I ride.
Well, you ride every day, so you have a good idea of it.
Yeah, I ride every day, and there was sometimes when I was first riding on the central part of the county, where I would go onto the west side of Prince Frederick, and when I first started riding those roads, because nobody rode those roads, it was a problem. But I think riding them every day, you kind of reached this, because those were sort of landlocked, so to speak. That those those roads back there came out to Route 4.
Yep.
And everything back in there was like, if you were back in there, you weren't going somewhere else. Does that make sense? You were like in that place. So I think the more people that are on bikes, the safer bikes are. That's kind of the way I've always
and that's
looked
one
at
of the great things about the bicycle boom right now is there are more people on bikes. So I mean, my hope is that folks who are riding actually keep riding,
right,
and realize that we need some help with our infrastructure and get into advocacy efforts.
Yeah. So what is it that made you want to own a bike shop? And I know you got like a coffee shop that's associated with it too. I mean, it's I worked in one. I watched Joey work in one. I'm close enough to watch it, what goes on in there. It's a crazy, crazy world. So what possessed you to say, you know what, this is something I want to dive into?
Insanity, midlife crisis. I don't know. I was really getting, I love teaching, and I love nursing too. So I really enjoyed being a nursing professor, but I knew when I started that I hated staff meetings. And there's nothing quite as interesting as a staff meeting in a nursing faculty staff meeting. And I love my colleagues, but honestly, just shoot me. And I just got to a point where there were, I don't know, I like to be a little bit more of a free thinker, I think. And I needed to get out of academia, and I wouldn't have minded teaching a few classes. But when Jill sold the shop to me, and my business partner, Ben, in 2012, she said, if you do this, you need to commit to it. You can't just say I'm buying the shop and be a figurehead. I will only sell it to you if you commit to doing this. And I said, okay, but I got to still see patients one day a week. So I did that up until 2016. I still saw patients one day a week. But I took the reins from her, and the Campanula corkscrew was our ceremonial handoff. She gave me a Campy corkscrew.
That's cool.
And the key to the shop. And it's worked out. I don't know. It's insane. I mean, I set off the alarm the very first day I opened the store and just freaked out. It's like, I can't do this. What am I doing here? But, I've screwed a lot of stuff up, and we're still standing. And we just bought another bike shop. So yes, I'm still crazy, and we're still going. And we opened a coffee shop this year during the pandemic. So
I wanted
there you
to
go.
talk a little bit about that. You fully embraced the bike coffee thing. How's that going?
Well, I mean, one of my dreams, one of the reasons I wanted to move into a better space, since we were going to sink into the sinkhole or have the roof fall in the old place. We didn't have heat or air conditioning either. So I knew we'd never get health department to approve a coffee service in there. So I wanted to do that from the very beginning. That was sort of the dream, is to have coffee and maybe someday beer. I wouldn't do more than that. I don't want to open a restaurant. I mean, we're a bike shop,
Right.
but I mean, cyclists really love their coffee and their beer, right? So it's just, we strive on keeping our community engaged, which has been really hard in the pandemic. But we were having potlucks every Thursday night. We'd stay open until 9:00, and we had this little group of folks, which would go from like 3 people to 15 sometimes, but not usually much bigger than that. But a lot of those people have become good friends of the shop, personal friends, and our volunteers come from that group quite a bit. And it's just a great community. So the coffee is a good way to bring people together and allow people to have a space where they can sit and work and use the Wi-Fi and things. Eventually, not yet. We're still on that, like, stay out of my bike shop because there's too much COVID going around still.
I look forward to the day that,
great.
We used to, or Joey,
our
and
makeshift
Wes
coffee shop,
did like a little thing on Saturday mornings, and we did that in sort of the off season.
Yeah,
and I think
we'd have 20 or 30 people.
Yeah,
in there.
we'd have a bunch of people that would come into the shop. You guys would have a bunch of people that would come into the shop on, open an hour early.
All we wanted was the community aspect of it.
Donuts and coffee, and then COVID came, and it kind of
I like when people look forward to that every weekend.
Yeah, people talked about it.
If we did that, we did it right. So
yeah. You guys definitely did that right.
When we did our rides, we would do a pastry ride. So we'd go down to this little place for pastries and coffee, or there's another place in the area called Vigilante. So we'd go to either Vigilante or Shortcake Bakery. And so we now get Shortcake Bakery's pastries so that we can just have pastry day at our own shop. And we have our own coffee. There you go.
We used to do the Friday night brewery. It wasn't even really a decent route, but it was just people
liked it for the
people
beer.
Liked it because you just got on a bike, and I think the round trip was like 10 miles, and it was you'd sit at the brewery outside in the summer when it was nice, and it's just the like you said, you use the word engagement. I'm a big fan of that idea of engagement. So in the world of bike shops, what's it like to be a woman owner of a bike shop?
So have you ever gone to any of the big dealer events?
No, I have not. No,
Joey,
I'm sure
have you gone to any? Yeah. How many women are there?
There's not a lot. I don't think I've seen a lot.
1, 2.
Count them on one hand.
I would say bike things in general with me, there's not a lot.
Yeah, you're an anomaly as a woman in bicycling, and being a complete noob at everything. It's just like completely intimidating to me. And I'm a little older than you guys, so my generation was like, okay, all right, sure, and not quite as in your face as some people who are a little bit younger than me. So it's been a challenge. I mean, I was thinking about this today. When I first had the shop, I was sweeping the floor one day because you do whatever you have to do to keep your shop running. And some old dude came in the store and was like, that's a woman's place, sweeping that floor, and then wouldn't ask somebody else the question. So I was like, okay, then, I mean.
Did you hit him with the broom? Did you swing the broom and hit him with the broom?
I think throwing the dust in his face would have been even better. Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of what you encounter. It's like when somebody comes and asks a question for the bike. And honestly, I'm not a mechanic. I wanted to train a little bit, but I don't have time. I'm a fitter. I teach lessons. I run a bike shop. I mean, we do all the stuff. So the mechanic side of it, I've kind of let go. And since I have mechanics to do like all my bike shop work for me, my mechanical skills are just like zero right now. But when somebody calls on the phone, they're like, oh, let me speak to somebody else. Like, I'll give them an answer. Like, does somebody else have an opinion? Like, no, I'm kind of the end here. Right. You've come to the end of the road, and the answer is no, or whatever it is. But yeah. So you do get that. It's a little bit of an uphill battle, but I get good. I mean, my vendors are very respectful. Everybody, knows I'm the boss.
So, looking at, and I know I don't want to take too much of your time. Looking at your event calendar, I mean, you just walked through a whole bunch of stuff that you guys have going on, but is there anything? It sounds like you do a lot of stuff weekly up there. I'm assuming that we're going to start to see some of that stuff down here as well. So I guess there'll be some crossover. What's your event calendar kind of looking like for the year?
Well, we're trying to get we started a bike club a couple of years ago, Proteus Fellow Club, and it's affiliated with the shop, if I can talk. It's affiliated with us. We sponsor it, but it's not, directly through the shop. But that's kind of fallen to the wayside during COVID. So I haven't been doing any shop rides or anything for about a year. So we're starting to try to ramp that up a little bit. In the past, we did some gravel rides together. We did cyclocross season year before last. And I actually podium on most of my races because of my age group. There's only usually 5 of us, and I usually hit that podium, even though I might be crawling to the finish line. But we have a pretty good cyclocross group that gets out there. No top racers or anything, but yeah, fledgling club going. Hoping to do some gravel stuff this summer and into the fall and get a cyclocross season in for the most part and get our road rides and our mountain bikes back going. A small group has been starting to do those things. So normally we're going to be doing rides on like Fridays and Fridays we meet at a restaurant and hang out and go for a ride if we have time. So that's one of our events. And then Saturdays, we usually do a couple of rides. I usually do a road ride at 8 a.m. And then my husband leads the pastry ride or whatever we're going to call it now that we have the coffee shop. And then on Sundays, it's usually a mountain bike ride.
Gotcha.
So lots of good stuff. And our specialized rep wants to get a ride together where we ride all the way down, shop to shop. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, the shop to shop.
Fully supported.
A shop to shop.
That is a route.
That's a long ways.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know if you've gotten any. I'm sure you've probably discovered the backstory of what the club that's kind of loosely associated with the shop. But I mean,
Jeff just signed up.
Yeah, Jeff just joined.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. You guys get your sick numbers. Make sure that you join us.
Right.
They're big about the numbers.
The numbers are big, man.
I'm 100.
What's your number?
I waited specifically to get 100.
Did you really?
I can remember it.
So I'll give you a little brief backstory. I mean, the shop used to run, you may have heard all this before, but the shop had their average Joe ride, and that was, a big part of what Joey did. And then out of the average Joe ride, there was like 4 of us. It was myself and 3 other guys that said, hey, this Saturday morning thing is fun. Let's do a Thursday night thing. So we started a Thursday night ride. And then that kind of like developed steam and developed this whole big Facebook group. And it was just sort of a natural progression that it actually became a club. I think we got 130 some odd members right now. And that fluctuates a lot because
the Navy base.
We're very transitory kind of an area down here with the
good
base.
for business.
Yeah. And, we have a very robust touring group, traveling group. There's probably about 20 or 30 folks in Solomon's Island Cycling that love to go out for long trips on the canal, the Gap, New River. We really got a very vibrant club, and it all spawned out of the shop. So there's a path for that. And this club is going gangbusters. I think for 120 members, I think we're doing great. So,
and that was one of the big pluses for us coming down to Solomon's was
Good.
the club, and you already have a community there, and we love community.
Excellent. I tell you, it is a very strong. We've maintained. You were talking about how hard it was to keep that engagement through this COVID time. Because it was a year since we were able to do group rides, and that was a big part of our identity.
Right.
But we found other ways to kind of stay in touch with each other. And then even over this winter, doing Zwift rides, we would do club Zwift rides. And then we started this. And I get a little bit of grief for it because it's kind of, Joey sees them all the time and he kind of like just blow it up everywhere. But we started our little badge program where, we have certain things that people can do. And the shop was real big and supported us with the 12 Rides of Christmas. Is something that the shop used to run that the club kind of took over and ran. So we had sort of like, it almost felt to me like our last in-season during COVID, I think we had more engagement with club members beginning in November all the way through the winter than we may have had during all of that because just, the Zwift thing, and we have people that would step up and lead a Zwift ride.
Dirty Kitten helped a lot.
Dirty
Alex
Kitten helped
and
a
Chris,
lot. Yeah, a lot of people jumped on board with that from the club. But again, that's engagement, and that was communicating to the club what was going on, and then a lot of club members kind of jumped in.
The
on
first
the same
club
thing.
ride's this Saturday.
First club ride is this
10
Saturday.
a.m. from the shop.
April 3rd.
Yep.
So that's the average Joe going to kick right off.
From the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want them all in my story.
Lori, what's your favorite ride that you've done to date, or if you had to actually let's make it a little bit broader.
I wrote it as a two-part possible.
If you had an ideal ride, you have a whole free day. What are you going to do? How's that? That's a good way to put it.
So my favorite ride that I've done, because this encompasses my favorite ride that I would want to do, is that we used to be open on the day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday. I don't even like that name, but we used to always be open and have a big sale.
Okay, bear with me. I think I just came back,
But you're not in the Zoom.
but I need to figure that part of it out. What happened to the Zoom?
Yeah, well, we're pretty. This is literally the first time in a lot, like 50+ episodes.
That this has happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Give me a sec. Let me see, because I can cut the audio pieces out, and it should. Bear with me a sec here, folks.
Okay. Oh, you're back.
Yep. Okay, I got to get everybody back here.
Jesse Piccolo.
Click the computer
Is
audio.
picking it up now? All right.
Okay.
At some point in time, I got to mute my computer.
Okay, you need to mute Joey again, because
All right,
I'm
I'm
muted. Because now, Lori, can you hear us through?
Yep.
Something's echoing.
You're not muted.
Oh.
There, I muted
Now
you.
I am.
Nope.
The host muted you.
Nope, I
We
muted
hit it
you.
at the same time.
Okay, Lori, can
Apologies.
you hear us? Maybe she can, maybe she can't.
It depends on if this is... So I muted me now?
Mm-hmm. But I got to get audio.
So now that I muted, now she could probably hear me again.
There we go. Nope, stand by. No, you need to mute over there. I was muted over here. Oh, jeez. Ay, 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 ay.
This is a long day.
This has been yeah. So the restream's still going. We're back. We're back live streaming.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we're back. So Ron said we lost you all for a minute,
so
but
we're back.
Jesse said picking you up now. So we're back. But Lori, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay, and
All
you
right.
can hear us.
So-
Okay. Okay, cool. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure all the bits and parts and pieces are operational. Okay, so let's back up, because I feel like we're back in place here. So whole free day. I think the last thing we were talking about was the fact that you were open on Black Friday. We hate the term
Yep.
Black Friday, and I think that's where we dropped out. Phew.
It's so sad because it's a good story.
Well, go for it.
So this is my favorite ride and my favorite way to spend a day. So the whole staff took the day off, and we got on our bikes, and we had some other friends and customers from the shop come with us, and we rode from our shop on the trail system to DC. Stopped at Velo Cafe, which is unfortunately out of business now, but we stopped there in DC on the wharf and had coffee. And then we rode all the way out the C&O Canal out to around Great Falls.
Wow.
So we did some gravel, we did some road, we did some city. It was like this complete combo ride. And then on the way back, we stopped at Blue Jacket for beers and burgers. And then we came back along the Anacostia River Trail and came all the way home.
That's nice.
That sounds like
That's-
fun.
It was like an all-day 60-mile everything ride. And if I had a day to spend, I would do it again.
That, you know what that made me think of as she was describing all of the different things, Joey, was a Dustin Klein ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like starting off over here, let's go do this, let's go do that. It's kind of like, yeah, just kind of, and I miss that, Joe. We can't do that down here. So, but now we can, because we can go up to Proteus and
Yeah.
start a ride out of Proteus.
Well, me and Paul were talking about a canal ride from the shop.
See,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's-
Overnight.
Camping, you can do all kinds of fun stuff right from the shop. Just get all that bike packing gear going, and you're on your way.
nice.
Probably better than our sub 24 hours we would We did a few a couple years ago.
I don't know.
Those were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I like the 3 and 4 day. Those are like my sweet spot.
Some of us have to work.
Well, they are work for me sometimes.
Last time I had a 3 or 4 day bike packing trip.
They are kind of work for me sometimes. Yeah. So, Laurie.
True. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Thank you, because I did this professionally, Joey.
Yeah. He's an adventure cycling guide. And,
Oh, wow, really?
so he's actually on the road normally, 100. How many days do you do a year on?
Last year was COVID, so I always think of the year before as being
19.
the last year. I was probably on the road about 3 months, 3 to 4 months. And
Professional bike packer.
Yep. I've done as far west as the Grand Canyon, 3 weeks up in New England, done a lot of Florida stuff, New York, and I used to work for a couple of different companies. I really only work for Adventure Cycling now. But I've got Texas Hill Country coming up in a few weeks, which Joe, we're going to have to talk about because we may have to prep people. We actually may take a week off or two. We'll see. So Texas is coming up, and then I've got Gap and C&O coming up, and then I've got Civil War, Gettysburg, DC to Gettysburg coming up, and then New York, cross-state in New York this year. So we're slowly kind of getting back into it.
That's why he's one of my shop ambassadors.
I talk to a lot of people.
He talks to a lot of people.
Talk to a lot of people who put their butts on bikes. So
we like you.
And the thing about it is, you were talking earlier about education and about teaching, and that's one of the big things with adventure cycling is that, and that's what drew me to them. Their whole idea, and it comes out of that kind of hostile environment, but empowering people to say, I want to go out and do this, but I don't know where to start. And here's a group that I can go learn with and become a part of. And they're not going to just, feed me M&Ms to show me which way to go as I go from place to place. They're actually going to kind of say, you know what, you're here, and I'm here to help you I'm here to help you facilitate by facilitating it, but you're kind of doing this trip, and you're doing your thing, and you're sleeping in a tent, and you're making your food, and it's different. It's different. Yeah. It's different than a back roads and those tours have their place. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we did a back roads tour in New Zealand. It's the only tour I've ever done, and we did that about 5 years ago, and it was amazing. But I mean, they feed you M&Ms.
It's like leave you a little trail of candy.
Yeah, I need. Take me up that mountain pass.
I got my Trek Travels.
I might have done that once or twice.
Yeah. We were supposed to do a Trek Travels trip because I didn't want to do anything to Spain last year.
That was me.
And that's cool because all of those things. I don't want
people to know I work in a bike shop or I'm a professional mechanic.
Right. I mean, you just want to do your thing, enjoy the bike, enjoy the country, not have to plan it. Yep. But if you said, I want to be able to go do this myself, then having somebody kind of like mentor you is what it almost comes down to. And I led some tours for some companies where it was the feed you the M&Ms and leave you the little cookie trail. And I didn't enjoy it as a tour leader. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. It felt like it was, I don't want to use the word work, but it felt like it was different. It felt like it wasn't participatory for me as a leader, and I like that. I kind of get off and I kind of dig that. So,
real quick, Bill O'Neill said he might be doing his first weekend or on the C&O this weekend.
Nice, Bill.
Rain. So let us know how that goes, Bill. Send us something in.
Right. Anything we haven't covered here, Laurie, from a shop? We're getting ready to switch gears a little bit, but anything you want to throw out there that we haven't touched on?
Not a whole lot. Just really excited to come down and spend some time in Solomon's and meet that crew. And hey, I'm a member of the club, so I'm ready. And we're thrilled with Joey. He's going to have to work about 8 days a week getting this going. As we already know, we were up till 11 o'clock texting each other on Friday night, going, "We need to get the inventory in." So it's going to be a roller coaster ride, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really stoked. I think we can do a lot of great stuff for our customers.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Joey's used to that working hard thing.
Yeah.
That he's a special one.
Well, that's why we're doing this. Yeah. So because we know Joey's there.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what.
I'm still learning some computer. There's some computer stuff I just never learned because Dave and I'm learning.
Now
You're gonna have to learn it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Joey clued you into this, but we end every show with a little something we call this or that. We take two things. Sometimes they're related. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they make sense. Most times they don't. We throw them out there and everybody makes a choice. You don't necessarily have to explain yourself if you don't care to, but it's nice if you do. So I think we're going to do tonight is, Laurie, I'm going to toss it over to you first, and then Joey, normal order, you're up, and then I'll finish it up. And live stream folks, I hope y'all stuck around with us through all of our little glitchy stuff there, and I hope
there's like 20 people maybe in. I don't know.
Excellent. So toss out your this or that answers, and we'll make sure to get those as well. The first item up on this week's this or that. Now you're only allowed to choose one. This is just Joey wrote this one. Either a pre-ride coffee or a post-ride beer.
Post-ride beer.
No hesitation at all. At all. Joey?
That was a tough one.
I know that's
I almost rather starting with I feel like that coffee gives me the go.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's tough.
Yeah. I knew this would be a hard one for you.
I know.
I knew this would be a really hard one.
Most of the ones I write down are the hardest ones.
Yeah.
I might go pre-ride, especially this time of year when it's getting warm. I like my iced coffee, like iced mocha.
Okay. Well, you know me. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah, so that's pretty easy.
I figured if I could get through college without coffee, I didn't need it. And there's another reason why I don't particularly like coffee. I won't get into it right now. It's a good story, though. At some point, I'll share that. So the coffee pre-ride, not for me, but I do like my caffeine. So a tea, I drink a lot of tea. Joey knows that. A post-ride beer would definitely be my direction. There's no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, all I can think about when I think about that is the after party at Unpaved. And
the one cycling event I didn't get a drink at.
Well, the first
I pulled
night,
the DD card.
The first night you did, that was a 3-day adventure. That was yeah.
Well, as the salsa guys got there and we got a little rowdy.
But the after party was definitely the thing. All right, where's the live stream at, Joey?
All right, Sean's still back. Sean said beer. Jim, do you ever go by Jim Bob? He said post-ride beer. Bill O'Neill said beer.
Hey, wait a minute. Time out for a second.
Yeah.
Jim Roberts. I wonder if that's the same Jim Roberts that's on the Strava group that's got like the capital names. It's like all
the one
place. Jim, if that's you.
I didn't know how to read it. Bill O'Neill beer. Sal said, come on, beer. Beer for sure. Ron, though, said pre-ride coffee, and then post-ride beer for Ben.
Yeah.
Benjamin Bassett. So maybe me and Ron will go to the Beanery before our Sunday morning ride.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Second item up or this or that. Watch a movie alone or dine by yourself. Joey, you wrote that one.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time alone over there, buddy? Laurie, would you rather eat alone or watch a movie alone?
Watch a movie alone.
Yeah. Joey?
I don't know. My bachelor days, I usually ate and watched the movie alone. I don't know. I'll probably watch a movie alone.
I do that a lot. I watch because
my wife will go to bed at like 7:30.
Yeah, and she doesn't like the same kind of movies sometimes that I like. So like
Jess?
No,
your wife?
My wife.
Oh.
She doesn't like the same kind of movies sometimes. So I think that sometimes watching a movie alone, it's kind of like, you also have the freedom when you're watching a movie by yourself to be like, oh, this sucks on Netflix and just killing it and walking away from it. But if you're watching it with somebody else, it's kind of like, oh, maybe, they want to keep watching, it takes longer to reach that decision. And I think our tolerance in today's streaming
it'll take
world,
us 40 minutes to pick a show. Or maybe.
Oh, yeah. It takes forever. And God help you when you get in between, like you finish a good series and it's like, what do you do now? It's like this lull of
you finish Schitt's Creek and you restart Schitt's Creek. Yeah.
what did I just restart? Oh, doggone it.
Letterkenny?
No. Arrested Development.
Oh.
I just restarted Arrested Development because I couldn't find anything else to watch. Where's the live stream at, Joey?
Jesse said movie. Ben said eat alone. Sal said movie alone, no interruptions. Bill says a movie. Eddie says eat alone. And lately, though, I put on Star Wars when Jess is with me because she won't watch it.
Okay. So are you using that to drive her away?
No, because I won't watch it, and then she just goes to bed.
Now, the rest of these I wrote. Laurie, College Park or Solomon's?
That's not fair.
You can choose to punt the question if you like. I'm more curious to see what Joey's answer is.
For me, I would say College Park for now because that's my home.
Sure. Joey?
They're both. It's a beautiful shop up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of jealous of College Park, but it's my home down here.
Yeah.
So I'll say Solomon's.
Well, you have to because you got the water thing. You got the it's the both of your worlds.
Yeah.
It's the both of your worlds.
It drew me back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came back here for reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a certain affinity for College Park. I mean, I spent a lot of my formative youth in College Park, and I was there I lived there. So, I've never lived in Solomon's, but I spend a lot of time down. I don't live here. I live 10 minutes up the road in
Solomon's
Lusby.
folk don't associate with you.
You
people
guys
from Lusby.
You guys don't even have a post office.
Yeah, we do.
You have a post office. I mean, but they don't deliver your mail to you.
The Solomon.
You
shop
have to
uses it?
go to the post office like
yeah.
Mayberry or something and get your mail.
So,
okay. Well, I would definitely go with Solomon's though. I consider myself kind of a Solomon's resident.
Yeah.
I'm here enough. I mean, it's 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
I kind of like I'm here. But
I get to work quicker by water.
Could you now?
Yeah.
Could you now?
Just right across the street.
Yeah, okay. All right. And I can't imagine in the live stream that anybody's going to have any kind of impact.
Yeah.
Input on that.
Benjamin Bassett said College Park.
Yep. Okay.
Do you know who Benjamin Bassett is?
Is that your Ben?
So he's co-owner.
Oh, okay, that's what I
so
thought.
Yeah, that's why.
Like, I only remember that because I was putting employees in Lightspeed today, and I was like, man.
Yeah, you saw his name somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, I saw the last. I knew Ben, but the Bass. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Fantastic.
Oh, that. Okay, that.
It's my
explains
plant. It's my plant in this show.
it. Yeah.
And Sal just jumped in and said, no idea. Will you guys get onto something that I actually am interested in?
He's from Jersey.
We do have a very diverse listenership, Laurie.
We got people from
New Zealand.
We got people. Well,
Right.
that's really extravagant. The REI guys in like Pittsburgh were
yeah.
raving about me in the shop.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah, well, you're just a celebrity. I'm telling you that,
no.
Joe. You just don't.
We just had people go up there with our bikes to start the towpath. Yeah. It's a little awkward.
Let's see. Last item on this week's This or That. Laurie, answer or not, Wes or no Wes?
See, I don't know Wes.
I told her we were going to take it off.
I don't know Wes. There you go. That's my answer.
There, that's
If
perfect.
you knew Wes, you would say no Wes.
No.
Go ahead, Joey. This is more. I think the live stream is going to have a lot of Wes or no Wes.
I always love having Wes is like my second brother.
Yeah.
I don't have a brother.
So you're in Wes camp.
Yeah.
I am firmly in Wes camp. I am so glad that Wes is back. So Wes was with us for a very long time.
I'm surprised we
Laurie.
had the technical issues without Wes. He
No
usually
joke.
would cause a technical issue.
I think it was just my computer. It
Yeah.
wasn't even your internet. I think it was my computer just decided to, do something bad and decided it didn't want to do it anymore. And I'm keep looking down now at the green box down at the bottom that tells me that I'm still here. No, I am very excited that Wes is back. Wes brings a certain, I don't know what it is, but he brings a certain something to our. Although you and I, when Wes went to Michigan, and did his Michigan thing, and he's still doing his Michigan thing. And then it became just the Brian and Joey show. I think we hit a real good stride.
Oh, we had a good stride, but there's a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah. And now that Wes is back, I mean, nobody can read the contact information like Wes can. I'm sorry, Joey.
That's fine.
It just doesn't. I don't know if you listened to it last week, and he was talking about having Pete put Zoom or Doom on his toaster so that you go over to your
I was working
oven
last Tuesday through this podcast, so
I'm definitely in the
Sure.
Wes camp. Let's see, where's the live stream at?
everyone said Wes.
Everybody said Wes. Jesse said Wes. Ryan said Wes.
Eddie Pliers might be the REI. I think one of the guys Dave went to flight school with and flew in the Marines was at the REI with Eddie or something. I don't know.
I think Larry's been up there and he's talked about it.
Yeah, Larry. There's been a few people in the.
Eddie, have you met Larry Paris? Eddie? I don't know.
I don't know.
So yeah, Wes all day long. Yeah, Sal.
I like
wants-
having the network of like customers all the way up to Pittsburgh.
Wes is a very, very good guy. One of the genuine.
He's kind of started the bikepacking scene down here.
He's what got me into it.
Yep.
He's the one that kind of set me on that path because
Yep.
he was like, "Hey, let's do this C&O Canal towpath thing," and I was like,
He's
"Sure."
a big person to thank. He took over my Average Joe when I went to Parvella.
Yeah.
And what turned into this and all.
Yeah.
So.
Wes, and he's a good mechanic.
Yep.
I'm
He's
give him
okay.
that. He puts on his little baby blue gloves and he cries little tears on his gloves,
He's all
and
right.
he'd touch my bike and it would magically stop making squeaky noises.
Yeah.
And that's all I really care about because Laurie, I am mechanically I think I'm okay with my bike.
You're okay, yeah.
But I know what's broken, but I don't really want to monkey around with trying to fix it. So I'll just bring it to Joey and I'll be like, "Here's my bike, Joey. Make it not make noises again."
Right. I do that too.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings us to a close here tonight. Laurie, thank you very, very much for joining us.
Thank you guys. This has been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
apologize for the technical difficulties there in the middle. It happens.
Kind of blast us in a day or two on the social medias.
Joey, have you got anything else before we shut it down?
No, it's way past my bedtime.
Got it, me too. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. This is a listener-supported podcast by some incredible people on Patreon or PayPal. Our show, folks, can be found wherever you find your favorite podcast. You listen to a podcast, you just punch in Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, Dirt, and guess what's going to pop up? Us. And you could actually, you can put in a whole bunch of stuff now because we've been at this long
we
enough.
pop up in some weird stuff.
You just put in gravel and we show up. Joey, how can folks get in touch with us?
Let's see. I'm going to try to get all this right. All right, our website is graveltraveldirt.com, and we need to add to our gravel database. So there's a bunch of Virginia rides I used to do.
Yeah.
Out there, I need to put ride with GPS links. Our Instagram is at Mid-Atlantic GTD. Shop Instagram is Patuxent Adventure Center, and the other shop Instagram is Proteus Bikes.
I'll add those in.
Yeah.
I'll add those in.
Put those in the show notes. And let's see. If our phone number, if you want to leave us a voicemail, is 410-231-3850.
Yeah, be like Ron.
Yep.
Ron left us a very nice, short, friendly. Don't ramble on for 3 minutes, folks.
No, thank you.
Please don't. And if you have to start a second voicemail to continue your story, you've probably gone on too long.
I tune out.
Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded this week from right here in Joey's kitchen all the way up to somewhere in Greenbelt. How's that? That works. Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others, and stay healthy.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Hit the button over there. Live stream still going.
We started this Love You Bye thing a long time ago, like in high school, and to the point now where we have top tube, like the frame name top tube sticker things people put on their bikes. We had like 1,000 of them. They're on their bikes all over.
There's bikes all
It's
over
a little
the country.
weird, but-
Little hashtag Love You Bye.
I'll have to promote you guys on my Instagram and my Facebook and
There you
stuff.
go.
So
Hey, Jeff.
we'll get it up there. Jeff says hi. Oh wait, hang on.
Jeff,
There's Jeff.
did you get a sick number? Did you get a sick number yet? You should have.
Solomon's Island Bicycling Club.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Did you get a number
Number?
yet? Did you get a number yet?
Yeah, I don't remember it, but yeah, it's big.
You gotta remember.
I was telling Lori they're big about the number for some reason.
Okay.
You know what? You know where that came from?
Well, people will come to my register and say I'm sick 104. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
You know where it came from? I was spending a lot of time down in Florida when my daughter first started to go to school, and that was when we were first sort of in the genesis of starting Solomon's Island Cycling. And there was a tri club down there, and they did that, and I rode with them and swam with them some when I was down there, and they were up to like 3,000 was their number, and this is a club that's been around for 30 years.
I'd hate to be that shop with
Yeah,
Tri Club.
it's 3,000 people and had come and gone through that club, and I just thought that was really cool. So we decided everybody got their sick number, and tattoos are encouraged. So yeah, because then you would just come in and come into the shop, everybody, and just lift up your pant leg and show Joey your tattoo. That would be your number. And you could put a little barcode on. You could hit it with the scanner, Joey. That'll work too. Just bloop bloop.
I'm working on that right now. The barcodes are actually pretty good today.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right.
just to throw you off your train, she went to every city council meeting and community presentation for 2 years. And our city council in College Park just announced almost $3 million in streetscape improvements out in front of our
Nice.
shop.
Oh, wow.
They did. Yay.
Nice.
I sent my
Unanimous
testimony
vote,
in today, and
yeah.
I may have
Congratulations.
looked in my mind a few times. So, yeah.
I used to do a little of the bike ped advocacy work too. I was, with Bike Maryland for a couple of years and did some stuff. And I don't do it anymore. Just life gets in the way. But congratulations. You're doing good work with that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for that.
We try. It's a lot of extra time, but it's worth it. I just joined the Capital Trails Coalition. I don't know how I'm going to have time for that, but I'm going to go say hello and say, take me off all the committees. But you got to show up to get things done and get your voice heard. So you guys are fantastic. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
I thought this would be a fun way to kick off.
Yeah.
We can blast it all over and
Absolutely.
on the shop pages and stuff. So
Absolutely.
I thought it'd be cool.
Yeah, so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys are a hoot. I'll have to tune in every once in a while here, so I have some entertainment on today, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All right, live streamers, we're going to shut it down. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, guys.
We'll
Thanks
see you
so
guys
much.
next